What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. So, I know it's been a while since our last one, but I wanted to come back with a little bit of a banger for some of you out there who are playing through Veteran and Nightmare mode on Back for Blood and are having a little bit of trouble or just don't know what to run. So today, I have a build that I've been using for Veteran, and it's been working really well for me. So, essentially, I play as Holly, not Mom. I play as Holly because she gets this 10% damage resistance, and then you get increased team stamina, and whenever you get a kill, you get a little more stamina. The stamina is nice. It helps kind of offset some of the stuff in the build, but what we're really focused on here is this damage resistance. So going into the deck, I have it listed as my tank build. You can see where this is going. So we have the motorcycle jacket, which is 5% damage resistance and 5 health. Padded suit, 10 damage resistance plus 5 health, you lose a little bit of stamina. Vitamins, health. Hydration pack gives you plus 25 to health, you lose a little ammo capacity. Canned goods, 40 more health, plus or minus 30% stamina, which that kind of sucks. Durable, 15% trauma resistance, 5 health. Body armor, 25% trauma resistance, minus 15% ammo capacity. Now with these two alone, your trauma resistance is at 40%, which is really good, meaning that if a crusher runs up, or like if you take sustained damage, you're not going to build trauma as fast. And I paired that with body armor, or the wooden armor, which is another 40% trauma, so you're up to 80% trauma resistance, meaning that 9 times out of 10 you are not going to have trauma, so it will not lower your max HP. The only downside is exploders, wretches, and reekers are your only weakness with this deck. But on Veteran I used this, and it wasn't an issue avoiding them. It was me, one friend, and then 2 randoms or 2 bots. I have not had any issues avoiding them, and even if they do hit you, due to the other cards in the deck, you don't really have to worry too much about it. We have True Grit. When you take 1 hit for 15 or more damage, you heal for 8, which this one you could remove because I'll explain how the build is in-game because I have some examples I can bring up. Well-Fed, plus 10 to team health, you lose a little stamina regen. Fresh Bandage, you heal for 10 trauma, so at the start of every level. So if you do happen to take trauma, this will kind of counteract that to make it to where you don't have that trauma. And then I run Shoulder Bag and Fanny Pack so that I can hold more support items. This is 1 and this is 2. You lose a little bit of damage. I run this with a shotgun to counteract that. Normally the AA-12 if possible, just because that thing is a monster in this game. Scar Tissue, you could swap out if you want, but I use this to kind of counter some of the common ridden or like the bruisers. Just 1 less damage from any hit. And then Numb, which I have for now, but is getting changed, which I'll show you what card I'm getting rid of this for. But I have Numb currently. While you have temporary health, I gain 15% damage resistance. So say I pair this with a Doc, which my friend always plays Doc because he likes being a healer. So he can throw pills on me or something, gives me my damage resistance. Or if I full heal with a med kit, then he can throw the pills to give me some temp health for more damage resistance. But I'm swapping this card out because I don't personally like the way it plays. The one that I'm swapping it out for is this. While crouching, you gain 10% damage resistance and 40% accuracy. Now, you do lose some damage resistance during this build, or you lose 5% extra resistance from the other one, because the other one's a 15%. This is 10, but I feel like this is easier to proc, and you don't have to use a lot of the pills to constantly keep it going. This, you can just hit Control or C, whatever you have your crouch button set to, which mine's Control, but I'm actually going to buy this now and throw it in the deck. I didn't realize I had the supply points to do it, just so that I didn't remember what the card was called, but we can just go here and throw it in really quick. There it is. Hunker Down. Alright, that's now in the deck, which I'm actually going to put it above that, because this one could be my last card. I'm not really worried about it, but normally I focus these ones are like the prime to get first, which I know my camera is in the way a little bit, but these are like the go-to cards, which you should get them pretty easy. Yes, save changes. So that's my tank deck, and I run it on Holly. You can see here I'm still playing Holly because this is the last time I played the game. So, with that in mind, the stamina you'll have is how I have 4 bars down here. That's not what you'll have with this deck. Starting out with this deck, you'll have 3 and about there of stamina when you start off, but if you find the random cards, or your teammate happens to be an Evangelo, or your teammates run some cards to boost the team's stamina, then this will not be a problem. I was playing with an Evangelo the other day, and with him alone and some other cards I'd gotten from the random card pulls happening to be stamina, I had 5 bars of stamina. Now with the tank build, normally I don't have a video and it would take too long to get into a game because I don't have any editing software yet. Which if you do know any, please put them in the comments. I would really like to start editing some videos. But with this build, the Bruiser, or Tallboy, sorry, when he runs up and hits you, it used to do 30 to 40, depending on your HP and stuff, with just any regular build. With this one, though, I found he does 12 damage. So getting hit by a Bruiser is no longer a problem. The Spitters do literally none. The Common Infected do a whopping 2 damage. So you don't really have to worry about getting swarmed either. Because an issue I had in the main game was if you get hit by a Reeker, I think, or not the Reeker, no, it's the Reeker. The one that runs up and blows up and you get the bile on you and the Horde swarms you. That normally you would lose a lot of health. But with this, you don't really have to worry about getting swarmed. You start off, assuming you get... which cards was it? If you make it to vitamins and these, you'll start off your game with 175 health, which, when I was playing with my friend who was playing as Doc, he had 110. So I have 65 more health than anybody else in the lobby starting off if they aren't building health items. And with all these resistances, you really can just stand there and take hits. That's why I run it with a shotgun, because I can take the aggro of the Tallboy, or the Bruiser, or the Spitter, the Hawker. I got hawked yesterday in a game, and I was out healing the damage the Hawker shot was doing. It does like I think it's 2 to 5 damage or something like that, somewhere in that range, the longer you're stuck in it. I'm sitting there out healing its damage, so I'm taking 3, healing for 4. Plus with the Doc, if, say I get swarmed while I'm hawked and I can't out heal all of that, she can heal somebody else, and through his deck he has ones that also give it to the whole team. So I can out heal it through that. The only issue with this build is the Wretch, Reeker, and I think it's the Wretch, the Reeker, and the Exploder, because you take a lot more explosive damage and a lot more acid damage, but it's not so much so that it's completely overbearing, and they're not super hard to avoid. Like the Exploder, you can, hit him with a melee or something, you stumble him and shoot him and he's done. Same thing with the, I think it's the Wretch that throws up. That one is the biggest issue for this build, because you either don't see the Wretch coming, or accidentally walk into the pile. Or the goo ball, or whatever it is, on the ground. Which, you can take some acid damage. With this build, you can have 4 medkits on you, so if you really need to, just heal back up to full. It's not that big of a deal. If you have the card, I think it's Charred Ridden, for when you're in the forest fire level, that one you'll kind of have to get finicky with the fire and just have Doc around you. But again, the only ones that are on fire are the Common Ridden, so 9 times out of 10 you can avoid a Common Ridden or hit them with a melee or shoot them before they get to you. This deck is really good for players in this game, and I'm not done with the supply lines. I don't know how far in I am, but I've beaten the game with my friend around 6 times, and I've just now started using this build because we have decided to finally move over to Veteran. I'm not ridiculously far in, like these cards, for the most part, are either automatically opened, or you get them pretty early on. The only ones that don't are these two. I just unlocked these ones and threw them in, and then you saw me put this in my deck literally currently. But yeah, you get these cards pretty easily through the supply lines, and if you play through the game, I think you get like 1,000 supply points for playthrough, so you can fly through the supply lines. I could be wrong, but I want to say this bottom tree is like stamina and damage cards. The middle is mostly medic and healing, and then the top is more like uh, protection, ammo, defense, stuff like that. So for me, I mostly focused these two trees to get where I am. I've done like a full spread of both mostly, but focus these two if you really want to get these cards faster if you don't already have them. But until any updates come out to change some cards, I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is probably the best tank deck you can have in the game. I'm obviously missing some cards, so I could be, I could change some things out and get better cards in here, but for an early game deck that you can use to mitigate a lot of damage to yourself, this is it, because you can take the aggro, you can take the bruisers, you can take it all, you can just eat the damage, and there's nothing they can really do to stop you. The only thing I will say is, if you want to use this in Swarm, a lot of the cards that are in this deck are not available in Swarm. I tried, because you'd be really strong in Swarm if you had this, but easily best tank build currently in the game. That's all I'm gonna have to say on that. I recommend giving it for a try yourself. Here, let me move my face so that you can see the card, I guess. I'll be over here for a minute. I'll highlight them if you can't really read them, but we've got, once again, motorcycle jacket, padded suit, vitamins, hydration pack, canned goods, durable, body armor, wooden armor, true grit, well fed, fresh bandage, shoulder bag, fanny pack, hunkered down, which if you don't have that, what was the card called? If you don't have hunker down as a temporary, throw in numb, because it is a good alternative if you do not have hunker down. And then scar tissue, which honestly, if you want, remove scar tissue, throw in numb for more damage resistance, because then you can crouch and get the temp health. The only thing is, running pain meds on yourself is not super helpful, so I recommend running it with a doc or someone else. I'm going to keep scar tissue in mind just because I don't normally have temporary health in my runs. But the team I would run with this, you playing as Holly with this deck is the best character. And then have a doc because she gives trauma resistance, which even more so. And then she can heal you a lot more. If you want to run it for high level, run with Mom, more team life, and she can get one free res on somebody. But if you don't want a Mom, Evangelo, highly recommend. You get more move speed. The stamina regen's for him only, which kind of blows. But he normally runs a lot of stamina cards. Some people run melee builds, so they have big boy stamina. You could alternatively run with a Walker for team health. Gives you more health. You would start out with 185. Hoffman, if you need more ammo, he will completely negate the lack of ammo you have, so you'll have normal ammo. And Carly, if you really need use speed, but I don't normally have an issue. But this is the deck I'm going to call the best deck for tanks. If you want to have Big Boy No Die, this is the way you want to go. You can switch some cards out if you have better ones, like this for Numb would be a good choice if you have someone who's going to constantly have pills on you for when you are, running low. You could not even use these and throw in 2 other cards that give you defense. But I just like having 4 medkits, because also with Doc, I don't think I have the card, but my friend plays Doc, and he has a card to where when he heals, his normal medkit or any healing will also heal trauma damage. So, on top of my trauma damage resistance, if I do get it and uh, if I do get it and Fresh Bandage does not heal it, I can drop him one of my 4 med kits, and I can do it for myself. So normally at the start of each level, I will just grab a bunch of med kits and use them when I need them, which normally I don't, because between Doc's free 25 health and some other cards like that on Doc with a good healer deck, paired with your tankiness, you will not die. Um, we're almost into chapter 3, and I have not downed a single time throughout the entire campaign. The only time I died during the... Oh, I didn't realize I was still in the middle of the screen. The only time I have died during the campaign was when a hag targeted me. I don't know why it did, because I didn't shoot at it, but it ate me and went into the ground. That is the only time I have died. Damage is just not something you have to worry about with this deck. But, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Try the build out for yourself. I highly recommend it. It is my favorite build to run currently. I'll definitely have some other builds coming out for some DPSs, because I'm really enjoying this game right now. And playing the harder difficulties, if the base is getting kind of stale for you, try a harder difficulty. It completely changes up the way you play the game. Because you go from being a complete madman running around like crazy to having to play more reserved and play a little slower paced with your team and like have actual cooperation and cohesion. It's super, super nice to have to work with your teammates, I guess, for a zombie game. But yeah, try the build out for yourself if you like this video. Slap that like button. Consider subscribing, because I'm going to have more Back for Blood videos coming out here soon. I'm back. We're back on that YouTuber grind. I don't know about Twitch yet, but we are back on that YouTube grind. I have this video set to come out on Thursday, so yeah, be on the lookout for more videos. They will be slower than normal, so it won't be daily uploads yet, but we're working back into it. Thank you guys for tuning in, though. Leave a comment down below on some more builds you'd like to see, or any ideas or tips you might have for even me. Maybe I don't know everything. So yeah, let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.